number 10, halfway point for the Kenpo Karate for Christ Purple Belt, Blue Belt curriculum is we're going back to a grab, and this one's Twirling Wings. Now, as you see this technique, it's going to look a whole lot like Chinese L choke. And so initially you might be thinking, I know I've seen this before because so many of the steps are similar. But we are focusing on a different line of attack here. That's what will be different. There's not a takedown like we've got in Chinese L choke, so you're not tying their arms up. So there's some differences to this. We're looking more along the low lines and how we buckle their knees is more the focus here, which I didn't even mention with Chinese L choke. So again, once you've learned this technique, you can go back and you can add that element to, at least with the first step, you can add the buckle element to how you do Chinese L choke. But that's not the focus at that stage. Here it is. Okay. So the attack for this one is a grab. They're behind you. They're doing direct grabs. So right hand's reaching up, grabbing your right shoulder from behind. Left hand grabbing your left shoulder from behind, and they're pulling you back this way. So being pulled off balance as somebody jerks me straight back that way. So I want to keep my posture on this, right? They've got the upper hand if they're able to bow your back this way, kicking your hips forward, pulling you back. That's what they want. They can pull you down into a choke. They can pull you into a knee, straight down the floor. We have techniques that do that, particularly backbreaker, which you'll see later. This attack itself even shows up in some of our own techniques. So we want to keep our posture. Don't let them kind of tip you back this way. And to do that, we're going to use the ideas that you've seen before with like passing the horizon. You can't necessarily see this person that's behind you, but we're going to find them anyway, right? They're outside our field of vision, but I'm going to kick back with my left foot. And I want to, this time, slide it along the ground as it swings back. I don't want to just step it with the rear cross. I want to swing it back in a little bit of an arc as I go behind my leg. And at some point as they're pulling back, when they pull back, they probably don't have their feet square when they do this. They probably have either their right foot forward as they're pulling or their left foot forward as they're pulling. And this technique addresses either of those options here. Assuming they have their right foot forward as they pull, we're going to get our buckle on step one. As we swing this leg back, the left leg wants to come in contact with the inside of the right leg, right? And as soon as it does, here, once I meet that point, I'm going to spin into a forward bow, left side forward bow facing 6. Again, I'm going to change my angle here. I'm going to face more like, you will be 12 to 6, but I'll be facing 130. So as I swing around here and turn, left side forward bow. And what that's supposed to do, if that right foot's forward here, when they turn, is it will twist that foot out, like they're rolling, kind of rolling them up on the ankle that way, turning the knee out. That's what you want. This technique, the focus of this is more on the buckle here. But why it looks similar is because what's happening with the arms is just like it was with Chinese L choke. Again, I'm going to have this vertical outward, and again, it's got to be at their elbow so that I can turn them. And I'm going to be doing this inward elbow strike with the right. So I have that vertical outward left and inward elbow with the right happening again at the same time. Twirling wings, the wings being this elbow strike. So you're going to see kind of spinning elbow strikes is where the technique gets its name. But it's actually what's happening low to the knees that should really be the focus of this technique as a new piece. It won't be hard to do the high part. You've seen it already. You've seen it with Chinese L choke here. You've seen it kind of demonstrated in other techniques. If that's all there was, it'd really be a technique too easy for this level. It's the low line that we're focused on. So I'm swinging this leg around here, almost like I'm doing a reap. But I'm not trying to kick his leg out from under him. I don't want to hit it, boom, knock it out. Quite honestly, with his toes pointing forward, you'd have to have a lot of force to do that. You'd probably break the leg before you'd be able to really buckle it. So all I want to do is as soon as I make contact with that, I stop and turn. And a good solid turn into a forward bow will bump that leg out, kind of send them and all their weight, if the right leg's forward, to that side. And at the same time as I'm turning with this vertical outward lock with that inward elbow strike to the ribs. And again, be sure this is behind the elbow. If it's not, if it comes short of the elbow, they can bend their elbow and they can hit you in the jaw with an elbow strike. I want to be able to turn and hit them in the ribs underneath the arms that I've just moved out of the way with this elbow strike. So all that's step one, right? Left foot swings around here, and so I'm facing the corner. Left foot swings around, boom, and I turn an elbow strike. And if the right foot's forward, I've just buckled that leg. From here, I'm going to check with my right hand on their arm, right? With turn them out to the side. I'm going to just push behind that elbow again with the right hand. Keep them turned while I then spin with a neutral bow. Come into a neutral bow and elbow with the left. So you elbow the same spot, but you elbow with the right, then you elbow with the left. That's where it gets its name, is Twirling Wings, right? We've done it already with the reverse. Spun with these outward elbow strikes when they're behind us. Did that with driving elbows. Now we're wham, wham, hitting them with these inward horizontal elbows here, right underneath the arm. And at the same time, we got to be checking their arms so they can't block that, they can't stop that, or they can't attack us. So, step one, swings around, I buckle. As I elbow, I check and elbow again. All right, now, as I come in to do this other elbow here, I'm not just going to pivot back into neutral bow. You're actually going to kick forward a little bit with that left foot, right? Boom. For one, I'm turned here this way. I unwind, I can get a pretty strong elbow strike. I can get even more follow through if I step just a little bit in that direction. If I slide my foot just slightly, left foot towards the right, boom, I can hit a little bit harder and hit a little bit further through. But the other reason we want to do that, we talked about step one, we'll buckle the right leg if that's the one that's forward. What if it's not? If they pulled and their left leg was forward, then as you sweep around with this left foot, you don't find anything. It's not there. So I turn and I do that elbow strike here. Their left leg was forward. Here, turn them this way. Now on step two, when I check that hand and I come in with the elbow, I'm kicking forward just a little bit so that this knee now collides with their left. If they had their left side forward, and we're going to buckle it out. So whether they have their left, whether they have their right, you're going to buckle one way or you're going to buckle the other. If it happens in the technique that they switch feet, you'll get both. Right? That's not going to happen practically. But they're pulling back, one side's forward or the other side's forward. So when you practice it, practice both. Say, okay, right side forward, okay, now try it with the left side forward. When the right side's forward, there won't be a buckle with the first step. Or right side forward, the buckle will happen on the first step, not on the second. When the left side's forward, the opposite is true. It'll be the second move that creates that buckle. So remember, it's about, if I start it one more time, but I start facing, if I say 12 o'clock is this way, and they're behind me. So I'm going to turn with the elbow strike, and the second one I kick through. Boom. So I catch that other knee there. Spinning with an elbow, and then hitting the other side that way. And that is Twirling Wings, and that is technique number 10 for the Purple Belt Kenpo Karate for Christ curriculum.